Okay, let's be honest. How many of us actually know exactly what they're doing when you get a facelift? I watched a ton of detailed medical videos from facial plastic surgeons explaining the differences between deep plane facelifts and SMAS facelifts. I took all that information and simplified it into terms that we can all easily understand. This is a simplified demonstration of basic concepts. I'm not a surgeon. This isn't medical advice. Don't be dumb. Let's pretend this is a face. There are 3 main layers involved in facelifts. The outermost layer is the skin together with a layer of fat. I'll just be calling that the skin. The second layer is a superficial musculoaponeurotic system called SMAS for short. The SMAS, which is part of the face, extends into the platysma, which is the neck muscle. Think of this on both sides of the face as one big hammock which supports the face. It starts up near the temples, travels over the cheeks, down along the jawline, and continues into the neck. When we're young, that hammock sits higher, but as we age, the hammock slowly slides down. And when it slides down, it takes the skin with it. The third layer underneath the SMAS is where the deeper muscles, fat, nerves, glands, and other important structures live. The goal is to pull the hammock back up where it was. The 2 most popular ways to do this are the SMAS facelift and the Deep Plane Facelift. Both ways are working in the lower half of the face and the jawline. So how do surgeons get to these layers? Most traditional facelift incisions wrap around the ears and the hairline. Let's start with the SMAS facelift. The top layer of skin is separated from the SMAS, going in the direction towards the front of the cheek. This totally frees up the skin and fat layer from the SMAS layer. The surgeon can pull the SMAS layer back and tighten it into a new position. They can fold it onto itself and sew it down, which is called plication, or they can cut it and overlap it, then sew it together, which is called imbrication. The top skin layer can now drape back up and over the tightened SMAS layer. Excess skin is cut away and sewn back together. Now, deep plane facelift. Imagine the SMAS is attached to deeper structures of the face by lots of little pieces of Velcro. These are called retaining ligaments. Some are located near the cheekbone, over the muscle we use to chew, and around the jawline. The idea behind a deep plane facelift is to release those attachment points first so they can move the SMAS layer more freely. How is this done? Once again, the surgeon separates the skin layer from the SMAS, but they don't go as far forward as in the SMAS lift. They instead cut open the SMAS layer. From here, they carefully go under the SMAS little by little, separating it from the layer of tissues underneath. Along the way, they cut or release these ligaments. Some surgeons release more ligaments than others. The deep plane facelifts that go farther towards the front of the face and closer to the mouth are called extended deep plane facelifts. This facelift is more tricky because there's a system of nerves that they have to be very careful not to damage while doing this. These nerves control facial movements. Once the ligaments are released, they have greater power to reposition the hammock where they want it. The SMAS, along with the skin, is moved into its new position. Any excess may be trimmed away, and it's sutured into place. The overlapping skin is trimmed away and sutured closed. To review, the biggest difference between a SMAS facelift and a deep plane facelift is in a SMAS facelift, the surgeon lifts and tightens the SMAS layer from above. While in a deep plane facelift, the surgeon goes underneath the SMAS, releases ligaments, and lifts the SMAS and skin together as one unit. Both of these facelift techniques have their place in different circumstances. I hope this made it a little more clear for you. I feel like I definitely understand it better. My surgery is coming up at the end of the summer. I will show you every step of the process, the good and the bad, because it would be so helpful for me if I could see a video like that right now, because I'm still questioning what a lot of things are going to be like, and I would love to know. I'll put it out there for all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.